If I ask the question of you, why did you decide to join a 6-month-long expedition? What would you answer to that question?
I'm sure it's a bit crazy. All my friends thinks it's a bit crazy.
That's always the first reaction from everyone. It's like, oh, you're doing what? That's crazy.
In the world of mountain Everest climbing, one of the first to attempt it was an Englishman called George Mallory. No one knows quite what happened to him in the end, but before he went on this expedition, all the newspapers were there asking him, why are you doing it? And his answer was very simple, and he said, because it's there. But then when you stop and think, what is there? What is the it that is there?
Let's go! Ushuaia!
The idea is pretty simple. A group of around 30 strangers will try to ride their bikes from Cartagena, Colombia to Ushuaia, Argentina. There's Tom from Canada, Ellen from the Netherlands, John from the US, MJ from Canada, and many more. And yes, they're all perhaps a bit crazy.
Hola!
But maybe not that crazy, because to actually do it, they've got the help of a team who earn their living from making these crazy kind of dreams come true. There's assistant tour leader Sam from Canada, Chef Colleen and Chef Mark from South Africa and the US, Juan from Argentina, Chris from Brazil, this whole lot and many more. But at the head of it all is Carolina from Brazil. She's been leading groups with crazy ideas like these for years, but even she will soon come to discover that the South American epic isn't just your typical bike tour. The expedition sets off in the sweltering heat of Cartagena, and soon the group find themselves surrounded by swamps in the Mojana wetlands. Parts of the area prove to be inaccessible by bike, so tour leader Carolina's famous problem-solving skills are immediately put to the test.
Tomorrow we're leaving San Marcos. We'll be crossing swamp area with wetlands. For that, our stage starts with a canoe ride. As this is a protected area, there's limitations about the size of the boat that can be used there. So now we are on the mission to try to get boats that there's a size big enough to carry all of us. Si de ese necesitaría 3.
¿Tres qué?
Entonces sería como esa, aquella y una más. ¿Tiene una más? Esa. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we found a medium-sized boat and 3 smaller ones. And according to our calculation, it is possible to fit bicycles and people in all of them. But some of the bicycles will need to go in our trucks. We have a very strong thunderstorm during the night. Oh, it will be a concern because our boats, they are made of metal. But yeah, forecasters saying that by 7 o'clock should clear it up. And yeah, it did clear it up.
After their victory over the swamps, the group makes its way into the vibrant heart of Colombia, where they discover that they are not alone in their passion for moving on two wheels.
That Sunday coming into Bogota, I have never seen anything like that anywhere. I mean, there were 100,000 cyclists minimum. I mean, I could not believe it.
It's uplifting to see a culture that's so heavily into cycling, and we're seeing a million cyclists cycle up this hill from Bogota and go back down.
We are at the last town near the Ecuadorian border called Ipiales. And yeah, we've been quite surprised to find this beautiful church here. Beautiful architecture over this river, surrounded by waterfalls. And yeah, it's been quite cool to just have some downtime and say goodbye to Colombia.
So tomorrow we have a long day to arrive in Ecuador, 131 kilometers, 2,800 meters to climb. But we did this today in 87, so yeah, should be fine.
You say that every time.
Coming into Ecuador, you can see the kind of melting pot of South America gradually change and then sometimes very suddenly change.
Life on the expedition, crossing from country to country, is nothing if not challenging. And some of these challenges prove to be more of a test of the mind than of the legs.
I never thought of myself as one of these John Wayne type who will just kind of, with true grit, get through everything, because I tend to have anxieties and I get nervous about things, and suddenly I'm doing these things which are certain to provoke all of those things.
It was quite spectacular looking across the river and not being able to see the other side. You could see the water moving under it very quickly.
And then there was a little cage hanging on a tiny cable. The whole thing looked quite precarious.
I think once we were given some cautions, that made me start thinking, okay, maybe I need to be a bit careful about this, and perhaps it's best to keep my helmet on just in case.
What I find is I enter into this other space in myself, and there's a kind of Zen-like quality regardless of who I am in my daily life.
When we started in Ecuador, going over the border, everything was green. Well, we still had the rainforest in our minds. And then we crossed the border into Peru. It was like arriving on a different planet.
There was shacks and stacks of garbage.
We went from cycling culture to nobody being on the bicycle. We virtually never saw any cyclists.
Even though Colombia has a huge cycling culture, you're just a person on a bike. Here, you're definitely a unique person traveling through their town.
Hola, hola.
We had more people wave and give thumbs up, and we're much more friendly towards cyclists.
And one of the things I really like is seeing differences, seeing places where tourists don't go. And northern Peru was exactly that. I come on a TDA to see the world on a bicycle, so I don't always just want to see the beautiful parts. You have to see the ugly parts as well. Of course, there's a lot of poverty, and you see these sort of crumbling houses on the side of hills. We all wish it wasn't like that, but it exists. It is what it is. So it's better to see and understand than pretend it doesn't happen.
After Ecuador and northern Peru, the expedition hits the Pacific coast, and a day later described by many as one of their most uniquely challenging rides ever on a bicycle.
You know, we'd come from loads of trucks and traffic and noise, and it was just like this remote place which you had all to yourself.
The feeling you had there was that no one else was around. You were basically just in the middle of nowhere.
And it was tough. I mean, the sand dunes and the crazy wind. You honestly can't hear anything.
Even when you're almost alongside each other, sometimes the noise is just too much in your ears. You can't hear each other. This tour seems to be all about challenges, whether they be massive hill climbs or a continual headwind, and why the hell didn't we go from south to north?
Challenge after challenge and country after country, the expedition is ever on the move. From the Peruvian coast, it climbs its way up to Cusco and the sacred heartland of the Incas on the Altiplano. But on the shores of Lake Titicaca, on the border with Bolivia, everyone in the group receives a message from tour leader Carolina calling for an emergency rider meeting.
So we've been assessing the situation in Bolivia. So what's happening is that we have two groups in Bolivia, the Poncho Rojo and we have Evo Morales. So Poncho Rojo and Evo, they're both against this government. And they want to overthrow the president. And 3 days ago, they made a blockage in our route, exactly through the part that we are crossing.
After a week of marching through Bolivia, former President Evo Morales and thousands of his supporters reached the capital La Paz on Monday.
There are some countries that they have red flags.
The protest against the government of current President Luis Arce and the country's economic decline.
Guatemala used to be one of these, Mexico and Bolivia definitely was one of that. So we were prepared to check all the options for Plan B, Plan C, Plan D.
These TDA tours are a very unique way of traveling. Your average tourist won't be experiencing what our riders experience here.
From the start, it's clear that it's not an organized tour where you're getting on a bus and everything's preset. You're going through some really wild regions. You're off the beaten track. Shit happens.
You have roads that will be blocked because of a landslide and plans has to change. You have roads that will be blocked because of political situations and plans has to change.
Having that protest in Bolivia where like, okay, the roads are blocked, there's no diesel in the whole country for vehicles, we have to make it work. So one thing that we had to do was meet with the local government in a town called Oruro.
Gobernación de Oruro informa.
Somos 14 nacionalidades diferentes, es mucha gente.
Bueno, para nosotros lo que es especial es que viajamos en bici. Podemos ver todo lo que... So it turns out Carolina and I were being interviewed with a big microphone in our face and like 5 cameras. But then we were like, okay, here's a card to play. You guys want to hear about our story, so let's do that for you. But can you call your buddy at the gas station to keep us a few barrels of diesel? Because we have 4 vans that need diesel because we're crossing the country.
¿Você cree? ¿Cuánto tem?
The next day, people from the government had diesel for us, so we could fill up.
All fueled up and safely south of the Bolivian protests, the group can jump back on their bikes, setting off for one of the most awe-inspiring destinations of the whole route, the Bolivian salt flat.
Oh yeah. Hey Roland, there's a story. Talk to me about what's happening here.
As you know, cycling the salt flats is very serious business. No, it's been an incredible day. I grew up in Egypt in the desert. I've seen desert, I've seen sand, but I've never seen something like this. And being able to camp here, incredible.
When we head out of here, we take a right to Uni. Don't expect a big place, it's quite small.
Here we are on this vast expanse of salt with this island full of cactuses behind us. It's otherworldly. It's not like any other place on earth.
The anticipation has been building as we go from the coast to the mountains and Amazon, and now this, it's just very different and it's very unique. I've tasted the salt, it's very, it's very salty.
Good morning.
Yes. You got powdered milk in there?
Didn't check this morning.
Aye. On the machine! How's the riding, guys? Like, what's the road actually like?
It's a little bit bumpy, but it got better as we got here. So not too bad, right?
Yeah, not too bad. TA and I went the wrong way and it was so smooth.
Oh, really?
But wrong way.
Let's go!
Even though we know some unexpected things are gonna happen, we don't know what form they're gonna take. My thinking as a staff is, okay, what's gonna happen today? Something's gonna happen.
Excited to be out in the bush, Hans?
Yeah, it's nice.
The other day, we were in this camp.
Nothing around, absolutely nothing. It was gorgeous.
Bienvenidos!
Oh.
Nothing too special, just like a desert camp, but the wind picked up.
It's a struggle to put up the tent and you were inhaling sand.
All of a sudden, Mark, our chef, has to bring the burners inside the truck and cook dinner inside the truck.
It was awesome, except for the wind, but you can never know. It could be the rain or you have no control on it.
All right, well, sometimes camping in the desert, one of the challenges is getting out of our camps. Now we got stuck. We're gonna get it out. It happens.
Tenerife.
Live on Tenerife, and this is my only opportunity to beat the lunch truck.
Go, go, go!
Headwind, yeah.
We lost 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, but it worked out. And that day, it was just that. It was the wind, it was the sand.
And this is what we remember, always expecting or not knowing what to expect. Me, that's what I like.
So on this tour, we were on the Altiplano for about a month.
Roughly 4,000 meters or 15,000 feet. And I'd say it's been one of the toughest challenges for all of us.
It's kind of the midpoint of the tour, and everyone is a little tired. It's been very, very hard, and I think it wears on you physically.
Not feeling too hot?
No, but I don't want to quit yet.
So the bags van, if you're really feeling bad in another couple kilometers, you can thumbs them down when they go by.
It was obviously harder to breathe. Sleep isn't as good.
Well, I have had a few nights where I had some insomnia and a bit of a headache.
The dryness of the atmosphere, because it's all arid and desert at the Altiplano.
You're more susceptible to stomach bugs and respiratory things.
The sun's stronger, the air's thinner, everything's dry, so our skin was cracking.
And then the cycling, when you first start out, even just getting up to have breakfast is exhausting, and getting your tent put away, you wonder, how am I going to cycle?
Your legs, where is all the strength gone, you wonder, you know? It's like somebody had kind of sapped all that energy out of you. One day I was cycling and I literally fell asleep as I was cycling for about 5-10 seconds. And I thought, oh shit.
So as we came to the border, crossing from Bolivia to Argentina, we went down in altitude.
After a month of this, and we descended, and it was like magic. And suddenly, oh, I can ride a bike again.
Argentina, in contrast to the rest of the countries in South America, has had a lot of European influence. That was a really big cultural shift. In Bolivia, it was a lot of bush camps or a lot of just kind of camping on the local soccer field. And then in Argentina, all of a sudden, there's these beautiful campsites that are super organized and where there's lots of life happening.
Yes.
After Humahuaca and the dry Jujuy province, the tour flirts for just a few days with a much greener side of Argentina. But before they know it, the green turns back into shades of yellow, orange, and red.
All right. Before we look at that, how was everybody's day? There's definitely a strong headwind in the afternoon. That's going to be the theme for the week. Tomorrow, we have another tough morning. Be prepared for that. Maybe find your Peloton. Yeah, it's definitely going to be windy the next couple days.
¡Eh, Matoncito!
Ferocious headwinds and torrential downpour in the desert. For the locals, it's a blessing, but for the expedition members, it feels more like a curse.
Hey Katie! Hey Francine, ça va?
I was looking at my speed and I said, oh my God, it will take me 8 hours to get to the launch. And I said, Francine, this is just a glimpse of Patagonia. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay.
Francine is clearly already dreaming about Patagonia, but she's getting a little ahead of herself because on the horizon and directly blocking their route, the highest mountain peaks in all of South America.
We came from this leafy, beautiful vineyard city, but then we went back into this scrubland. And then we finally started climbing, and everything was changing and changing until the point where there was no more vegetation, just rocks, grass.
Very rocky and green mountain. And then suddenly we're at the summit, and then in front of us it's all white.
Aconcagua was one of the mountains we could see from that vista.
When the South American epic crosses into Chile, it is clear that those strangers to each other just months ago, they are now a tight little community.
So the meeting tonight to be hosted by the birthday guy.
Tomorrow.
There's too much left over, so I think tomorrow is cookies only.
This partnership that you guys have formed, you guys met on this tour? Is that true? Or
That's true.
Yeah.
He came and said, I'm riding with you today.
We're still riding with each other.
We're still riding with each other. Initially, it was a little. I thought it was competitive, and then everybody kind of got less nervous, and then the group kind of gelled, and people are doing what they want to do.
Well, it's rare in life that you spend night and day with someone other than maybe your partner, and even them.
There definitely is a community that is created.
It's a bubble, our little universe.
Oh!
I like the circus metaphor because, yes, we are putting up our big top, our tents every day, taking them down every day, and traveling to the next place.
Putting up your tent in high winds or
breakfast, and we eat all together, and sometimes it's cold.
We wake up, we go to bed, we eat, we do everything together.
Yeah. Buns.
After a quick pit stop in Santiago, the expedition makes its way back to the Pacific coast, passing through more wine regions and the agricultural breadbasket of Chile.
It's a really interesting shift once you cross the Andes from Argentina into Chile. Argentina, you get the beef, spectacular beef. Chile, on the other hand, embraces their maritime nature. So the seafood here is incredible. This is kind of the dream as a chef. There's all this beautiful produce, this beautiful seafood. I'm meeting the farmers that grow it, I'm meeting the fishermen that catch it. I've been looking forward to this for weeks now. It's springtime here in South America, so everything is really starting to pop off.
Crab! That looks good. Oh, they're alive.
Oh yeah, I bought them off the fishing boat. They pulled them out of the nets for us.
And these are mussels.
Leaving the coast, the tour dives into a very different climate, the Chilean Lake District. An area famous, of course, for its many magnificent lakes and lush green landscapes. But maybe most of its fame comes from the fact that it is considered the doorway to Patagonia. And it seems for a little while that that door is locked. Yet again, it falls to Carolina and her crew to keep the expedition on the move.
So today we're starting the Carretera Austral. It's a very wild area. Weather is rough, roads are rough, lots of lakes, ferries, boat crossings. So we already had today our first challenge. The ferries has been cancelled, the ones leaving from Porto Montt. So what we managed yesterday was to find a private ferry that had only today available. So actually Patagonia is already challenging us.
There is no other road that can take you to the other side, so the only way you had to do it is using this ferry.
So getting to Patagonia, it's like this climax that we cycle into and end with dessert.
Carretera Austral is quite a modern infrastructure. 30, 40 years ago, there was no road down here. It was only a path for animals and for farmers. This allowed us to be in these natural surroundings that are so pristine.
You can drink water from any river.
The second we started the Carretera Austral, you could just tell, wow, everything has been beautiful in its own way. This is special.
We said many a day when we rode together, this day won't be topped. And then the next day it's like, what the heck? How could it get better than this? And then it rained.
Down here, rain is an integral part of life. But when it gets cold and wet, the locals have a remedy. A traditional fogón asado.
Yesterday, we had the opportunity to meet this local guy named Tito.
Están en carnecita, están en carne, casi pura carne, aquí no se desperdicia nada.
Que no tienen grasa, dice.
No tienen grasa.
He hosted us and he prepared for us Patagonian cordero, a lamb, and he made it in the traditional way.
Claro que esta parte se
tiene la grasa justo. Muy lejos, hasta un mes andando.
He was born in this land. He worked for 40 years as a gaucho, like a cowboy, traveling with animals from one point to the other of this carretera austral.
Wow. Muchas gracias. Wow. Bueno.
No se quema usted, Tito, ¿cómo hace?
The Carretera Austral ends in Villa O'Higgins, and the finish line is now really inching closer. But celebrating too early can be a big mistake in this part of the world.
The weather is crazy. We start crossing on the 28th or go by bus.
So far, the infamous Patagonian weather has been mostly on their side, but now it's threatening to take a turn for the worse. As the vehicles split from the group, the riders prepare for a border crossing unlike any other.
Patagonia weather is the king. We have zero control of exactly when we will really be able to cross.
For the home stretch, and especially this border crossing, the group is joined by Cristiano, the original architect of this route across South America.
If anything goes different from the plan, you could end up stuck. People do get stuck for a week there.
There is only certain times that the wind allows you to go across the water.
Can you still see your bike?
Too long separated.
So you take the first ferry out of Villa O'Higgins, then you get to a place called Candelario Manzanilla. You leave Chile, there's immigration and customs there.
The island was really pretty. It was steep, not great, gravel, but it was gravel. And then we got into mountain bike trails.
Missing bridges and lots of rocks and roots.
There was double track and then there was single track, and you were going over streams, through streams, riding across logs to get over the stream.
It's really out there, middle of nowhere, in the glacial park. Great views of the Fitzroy. Yeah, this was originally, since we started planning this tour, from the beginning, when I did scout it, there's no way I was gonna not do it.
Sending it down the Patagonian trails. Oh yeah! Another ferry and the group is back in Argentina. And with the finish line now agonizingly close, the members of the expedition again try to find an answer to that $1 million question.
Every once in a while, in the middle of a day, you get the thought, why am I doing this?
I've been contemplating this course every day, thinking about what am I actually trying to do here.
I arrive at camp, I'm hot, I'm thirsty. I would sell my first grandson for a beer.
People know when they sign up or come to discover that a good proportion of the days kind of suck in some way. But a lot of satisfaction comes from putting ourselves through hardship and coming out of it stronger.
The richness of one's daily life, everything gets stripped away. And you're down to the essentials, and the essentials are basically pedaling.
It is pretty much riding. Eat, ride, eat, ride.
You're on a mission,
Yes.
and the mission is to cross a continent.
Yes.
That mission sometimes overtakes your capacity to be present.
The way we're brought up and the way we're kind of acculturated is in terms of achievement. And the achievement obscures what is your own real goals.
It seems then it's like going to work. I think that that does take over. It can take over, but you have to back off from that.
A couple thousand kilometers ago, they may have started this mission on their own. But they've all come to learn it is only thanks to the power of the group that they are now this close to accomplishing it.
I think it's tremendous what people can do. People have no idea what they're capable of. And what you're capable of is not nearly as much as what we're capable of.
We are all together moving towards the same goal. And there's no my ride, it's our ride.
Yeah, you made it!
I think, in a way, the people are what make a trip like this worth coming on.
This is the final stretch. All of these last things are starting to happen. First, I just want to know, what do you guys feel like right now?
I feel tired. I feel happy. I feel sad. It's been a great trip.
I was not planning to make a speech now, just the meeting, but I'm so really proud of all of you. Because it was not easy at all. To survive in life, to accomplish everything that you're trying to accomplish, you need to have a very healthy mental conversation with yourself. Otherwise, you're not gonna make all those crazy climbs in Colombia, you're not gonna go and deal with shit campsites. Face the wind, the cold. 7 hours, 8 hours in your bicycle that you're dealing with yourself. So if yourself is not a nice person, you cannot do that. It's almost there. El fin del mundo, la tierra del fuego, the bottom of South America.
128 days on a bicycle.
5.5 months.
98 nights in a tent.
Ushuaia!
6 countries.
And 1 continent. This is the South American epic.
Love it, guys.